Hello and welcome back to Ready Steady DIY. If it's your first time here, thank you for joining us. If you've already subscribed, thank you for subscribing. Well, as you can see, I purchased a new air conditioner, and it's a bit of a strange shape. This is the Midea U-shaped air conditioner. The reason this design is becoming so popular is because it takes the business end of the air conditioner, the part that's really, really loud, and leaves it outside the window. And only the part that you absolutely must have inside the window is inside the window. When you close the window, it can close down almost all the way into the U shape of the air conditioner, providing a perfect sound barrier while keeping you cool. It's way more efficient than any portable air conditioner and way quieter than most window units. So today I'm going to show you what I got when I opened up the box. I'm going to show you how I put it all in my window, and then I'll let you know what I think. So if you're down for that, stay tuned with me till the end. For now, let's get going. So this particular model of the Midea U-shaped line is the 10,000 BTU model. It sits right in the middle. There's an 8,000 and a 12,000 BTU unit. In this case, they're saying this particular unit can cool a room that's about 450 square feet. That's more than I need. This particular unit is 21.9 inches by 19.17 inches by 13.26 inches. And it weighs just under 57 pounds. So when I opened up my box, inside there was a user manual, there was one main bracket, there was one short and one long extension arm, there was some high density foam, there were some screws, including some extra screws, which is pretty great. There were a couple of brackets for the purpose of securing the unit, there was one remote, and there were a bunch of different kinds of ceiling foams. So I opened up the manual and got to work. I moved over to my window and I had to find the center of the window. I measured the width, found the middle, put a little mark in there. For me, the middle of my window, because it's 33 inches across, was 16.5 inches in from the edge. That means when I go back to my main bracket, I need to make sure that the extension arms are 33 inches exactly. So the left extension arm for me came already in the bracket. I had to put an extension arm on the other side, and therefore I had to pick between the two they give you. I chose the longer one because my window is a wider window. Just pushing in this little button and sliding it along until the button popped out at a hole that put the arms of the bracket in the middle and the whole width of the bracket at 33 inches exactly. And in the end, my 33-inch wide bracket fit perfectly into my window. There's a little arrow in the middle of the bracket. You can line that up with the mark you made just to make sure you've got the whole thing centered properly and carry on to the next step. They recommend that you apply some bracket sealing foam, this sticky back white stuff they sent, to the bottom of each extension arm. I did that. I'm not sure that it was totally necessary, but they do advise it, so I did it. So on to installing the main bracket. It's pretty simple. With my window open, I put it in place. And the next step is to sort of move the angled support arms in until you can feel them touching the outside of the wall below the window sash. Once they're in the right place, you want to get out a level. I think a torpedo level with a magnet down one side would be perfect for this. I couldn't find mine. And my 2-foot level was just too long. It was getting a little precarious. So I grabbed a small level, the kind that if it fell to the ground, I wouldn't care, and used the bubble in that. Basically, they advise you to set the bracket up so that it's totally level, but optimal is to give it a little tilt to the outside. That's for drainage. And so that's what I did. I just pulled the bubble to the hash mark that's on my side of the bubble, and that meant my bracket was tipping out just a little bit. Once I had the angle correct, I could then grab the pin that they provide, slide it into the appropriate hole, stick the cotter pin in so it can't move, and I left it there. These are numbered, so what you do on one side, it's pretty easy to replicate on the other side. So I did it on the other side too. So at this point, the main bracket is pretty in there. But the extension arms do have holes so that you can secure them to the inside of the window track, and I drilled a 1/8 inch hole and put some screws in there just to make sure it was extra secure. I thought about using my own hardware. I always find when companies provide you with hardware, it strips easy, it's kind of weak. But in this case, this hardware worked. It didn't strip. That's kind of the first time that's ever happened. So I'm gonna move on to the next step, which is put the air conditioner in. The instructions definitely suggest that you get 2 people to do it. I think that would be safer and easier. I happen to be alone. I thought about calling a friend, but 57 pounds, it's not that much weight. I just picked it up, put it in the window. I did not feel at any point like I was gonna lose control of the thing. It was pretty easy to put in the window. There's a couple of channels that are molded into the bottom of the air conditioner, and they fit perfectly onto the main bracket. So you want to sort of line those up. As you can see in this shot, it fits in there pretty snug. So now you have to figure out how far in or out the whole unit's going to be. And you do that just by pulling your window down and seeing if it can close. It's got to go all the way down into the U channel. So if the air conditioner is in the way somehow, you move it forward or backward until the U channel is exactly under your window and your window can close freely. Once you get that, they give you some screws and a couple of brackets so that you can secure the air conditioner to the main bracket itself. I did that. Again, using the hardware they provided, it worked fine. And then it's onto the foam. They give you some high density foam. It's nice, it's white, it matches the unit. So that's way better than, the pieces of wood or coroplast or all the kinds of things you see people trying to plug holes next to their air conditioners with. It's also way more soundproof. So basically you have to take a measurement. I use my decibeltometer. You can use anything you want, a tape measure, whatever it happens to be. I just thought the decibeltometer would be a little bit more accurate in this tight space. I got a measurement. I added 1/4 inch to that measurement because the foam's gonna compress. You want it to fit in there nice and snug. You want it to be a little bit bigger than the measurement you take, at least according to the instructions. This foam cut nicely with my electric bread knife. I use that for cutting upholstery foam. And I don't know if you've ever seen my video about how to cut tennis balls. I use it for tennis balls too. But to be honest, it was a lot easier, quicker, and smoother just grabbing my Olfa knife and slicing right through. Either way would work, but Olfa knife's easier. So then they recommend that you apply window sealing foam to the side and the bottom of each piece of foam that you just cut. So I apply that, it's sticky back stuff, pretty easy to cut, and now it's ready for the window. When I slid the foam into the hinge, I made sure the top was flush with the top of the hinge. And after I pivoted it down into place, I pushed it down just a little bit, just to make sure that there was lots of room for the window and that everything was flat and ready to go. The foam needs to seal behind the extension arms. The next step is to extend the anti-tip brackets. They're inside the unit. You gotta pull this little screw, then pull out the anti-tip bracket, slide it into the window track, and then secure it again with the screw that they provide. You do that on both sides and you're good. So at this point, I'm pretty much done. They give you foam so you can sort of seal off your sash or any part of the window that might have a gap in it. But I was doing pretty well at this point, so I just decided to turn it on and give it a go. And so how did it do? Well, they advertise that it's very quiet. And this is very true at its lowest fan setting. It's about 42 decibels, maybe 41 even, which is pretty quiet for a window unit. This design for a window air conditioner is pretty brilliant. It kind of makes me wish like every window unit I ever had was like this. It's way smarter to do it this way. The U-shape is a really good idea and it really pays off in terms of quietness. Street noise doesn't translate so much, and compressor noise from the split part at the back, it's very, very quiet. 41, 42 decibels, that's very, very quiet. My fridge in my kitchen is 47, just so you know. Having said that, it'll go over 50 if you go to the high setting on the fan, but at that point, you probably don't care about the sound so much as you care about getting cool. It draws about 10 amps, so I don't know if you consider that to be energy efficient or not, but it does draw about 10 amps of power. It's pretty cool. Like to look at, it looks elegant. Light comes into the room all around the unit, like you're not blocking off the sides with accordion style extensions or anything like that. So the room is brighter, the room is quieter, the room is cooler. Overall, it's a pretty good unit. There's an app so you can control it from your phone. There's a remote. It works very well. You can control it from the remote. I'm probably just gonna walk up and hit the buttons on the front. Those work too. So in the end, I gotta say, I'm pretty glad I purchased this. It seems pretty well built. It definitely cools well as advertised, at least so far. If anything changes with that, I'll put it in the comment section below for you guys. It is pretty new to me, but I wanted to show you because where I live, it's getting hot. And a lot of people are buying air conditioners, so I thought I should tell you about this one just in case you're thinking of going to buy one. So how about you guys? Have any of you tried a U-shaped air conditioner? If you have, leave those stories in the comment section below. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for staying with me till the end. I really appreciate that. And as always, take care, stay safe, have fun with your DIY projects, stay cool, and I'll see you next Saturday.